Welcome back to Season 4 of the Sober Motivation Podcast. Join me, Brad, each week as my guests and I share incredible and powerful sobriety stories. We're here to show sobriety is possible, one story at a time. Let's go. In this episode of the podcast, I sit down with Logan, who shares his powerful story of sobriety from alcohol and gambling addiction at a young age. Logan talks about his early experiences with alcohol, the challenges of growing up with ADHD, and the impact of his upbringing on his addictive behaviors. He recounts his struggle with substance abuse, the consequences he faced, and his transformative journey through detox and rehab. Logan also discusses the importance of support systems, the role of faith in his recovery, and the hard choices he made to change his life. And this is Logan's story on the Sober Motivation Podcast. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode. Before we get into Logan's story, I want to share this other incredible story with you. I've been working with somebody it's been months now. I don't know exactly how many months, but I would say a year or close to it. And the other day, yesterday actually, September 24th, she celebrated 1 year of sobriety. We meet every Tuesday, and this Tuesday she was like, do you mind if I share some of my journal entries? And I was like, of course, let's do it. And halfway reading her journal entry from her first day, we both were just crying. Probably me more than her. And I thought it was just so powerful to kind of go back and see how things were, to realize how much things had changed. So I asked for her permission to share this journal entry with all of you. And here it is. This is her journal entry from her first day. Day one again. I'm not sure this will ever end. It will when I am dead, but what a sad thing to not even have really lived. I think back on my happiest moments, and they are all when I was sober for a while. The world was so bright and I felt so good and peaceful. Why is that not enough for me? Why do I want a dull, half-lived existence? I don't know. I looked into therapy, and it's expensive, but I need to do something. I resist AA, and it may be because I don't want to commit. I want to do this thing my own way, but my own way isn't working. I am so frustrated and have endless tools. The one thing I don't have is a clear decision. I stay half in and half out. To beat this addiction, I know I have to be all in, or I will continue to relapse. Relapse is awful, and I feel like I'm the only one to take so long to get sober. Makes me feel alone, ashamed, guilty, and useless. I cheer other people on, but not really myself. I love sober stories of recovery and to see others succeed, but I haven't been one of them yet. Maybe someday. It won't happen until I decide 100%. Hearing that also brought me back to when I was trying to figure all of this out, and is very well written from the heart. You can feel it there. And I think it's just a relatable entry to so many of us where it can feel so hopeless at times. Am I ever going to be able to figure this out? Am I ever going to be able to string together some days or some years or maybe even a decade? I think we bring it all back to one thing, though. We just have to stay sober today. Tomorrow is a new day. Yesterday we can't do anything about. It's just about today, staying in the moment. And I love this. So when I first connected with this person in our mentorship sessions, I said, what do you need from me? And she mentioned, I need you to push me. And she had joined the community, which she was resistant to do, very resistant to do in one way or another. And I said, look, every time I see you at a meeting, I'm gonna call you up to give a share. That's what I can do, virtually to push you. And she always showed up and always shared and spends a lot of time listening and hearing other people's journeys and stuff. So incredible. 1 year. It goes fast. So great job. And anybody else out there who's kind of in the thick of it all, maybe that can just be something to help you feel less alone with the struggle and to let you know that things do change and you don't have to drink today and you can stay sober today and your life can get better. It's not going to all happen overnight, but stepping in the right direction is everything. Small steps in the right direction, everything can change. Now let's jump into Logan's story. Welcome back to another episode of the Sober Motivation Podcast. Today we've got Logan with us. Logan, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, dude, I'm excited to get into your story, share it with everybody, and hear what it's been like for you.
Awesome. Let's get into it.
Yeah. So what was it like for you growing up?
I had a fairly good childhood. I played sports all year round. I had good grades. Everything was fairly good. Bills were always paid. I always had food on the table, stuff like that, and no complaints really there. Yeah. Probably around like in between grade 8 and grade 9 when when I went into high school is when I had my first drinking experience. Yeah. And that's kind of when it started happening. But I struggled with that when I kind of got into recovery, because a lot of people around me, they struggled with trauma, or, they were drinking or using drugs to cover something up. And when I first got sober, it was really hard for me to realize what I was covering up, because I looked back on my childhood and I'm like my parents, they were good to me. I didn't, what am I running from? It was hard for me to kind of pinpoint that, but
yeah, that's interesting too. And over the years of doing the podcast and working with people, I mean, you do hear, two different or maybe 100 different experiences of how people grow up in sort of their interaction. Was alcohol around growing up for you or not really?
Yeah. It plays a big role in where I'm from, a small town. So, parents are always having a couple beers with the friends or the neighbors, or, parties on the weekends in the shop, or nothing crazy, but it was, people around me seemed to have been able to just have a couple drinks and stop, or I rarely see my dad drunk, but he can have a couple beers here and there. So yeah, it was definitely around, and I very much couldn't wait to be old enough,
Yeah. When did that start? When did you start to pick up on or have those thoughts?
Probably after I had my first drink of beer, it was just at a Christmas dinner or something. And I was fairly young, but those little situations where your dad or your grandpa's here, just try a little sip. You're not going to like it, but just so that you know what it tastes like. And from that moment, yeah, it was gross, but I couldn't wait from that moment. I was excited.
Yeah, to see what was next for it all. Yeah. So that's kind of how it started for you. Grade, you're 14, 15 then too, right?
Yeah. Grade 8, 13, 14.
Yeah.
Around there.
But leading up to this, you'd been involved with sports and everything. And a small town.
Sports all year round, yeah.
Yeah. Hockey or what?
Yeah, I played hockey, and then for a little bit there, when I was younger, I played baseball, and then once it switched from pitching machine, it got really boring. Everybody's getting walked all the time, so I switched to something a little faster. I played lacrosse. It was box lacrosse, so I liked it because it was rough and it was a lot more my speed. So I was hockey and lacrosse for a while, and then unfortunately, due to my drinking, I had to give up both.
Yeah. So you start out with this first time you're drinking and kind of heading into this, being really curious. It sounds anyway, what things are like. I mean, that first experience, are you just having a sip of a drink, or are you going all the way with it?
Yeah, man, I went all in from day one. Obviously, you're only given a couple drinks because you're young. You're told to be responsible, but you always figure out a way to get more, or I just remember the first time, it was around COVID, when I had a couple friends over, and no one was allowed in the house, nothing like that. It was just out by my campfire, and I got pretty wasted that night. It was I have some memories in my Snapchat that I could go back on and look at, and it's from day one, it was holy smokes.
What was it? I mean, have you kind of uncovered that at all?
Honestly, at the beginning, it was always just this. I just loved to party. I didn't realize that I was I didn't realize it was more than that, you know? Like I thought it was just like, everybody else. Like, cause the average teenager, the hockey player and lacrosse player, like that's what they do. Like
Yeah.
it's girls, money and drinking and partying and stuff, right? Like cars and like, that's what you think about. So I thought it was kind of normal, but like, and the people I was around were somewhat doing the same thing, but not to the same extent. So like, yeah, I struggled for a while. Like I thought it was a phase and I thought like, this is normal. Am I just doing what every other teenager's doing? But I had to really get honest with myself and look in the mirror, and it was much, much more than that.
Yeah.
And we'll go a little deeper into that, but
Yeah. Where does it, like, how does the rest of your life look outside of this too, once this things pick up speed here for you? Like
so from grade 8 or right when I got into grade 9, I always had good grades, like decent grades. I was like a high 70s student, like mid 80s. But to me that, like, I struggled with that because my sister, she's really smart. She's like a 98 average, like on the dean's list. Like, so I was always like hard on myself for that. But, like I had decent grades. I had two jobs. Like I started corner tasseling as early as I could. So from like 13 or 14, I had a job. And then I started at Canadian Tire right away when I got into grade 9. So I had 2 jobs, sports, I had a girlfriend, I had, I had all the things. Like it seemed like my life was put together, like,
yeah.
But I knew one thing for sure. I knew that I loved to drink. I could not wait for the weekend so I could go drink as much as I possibly could.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like the escape that it provided, or?
Yeah, honestly, I think like now that I look back, I think it kind of, like I have ADHD and stuff. So like growing up, I was always like the loud and hyper kid. People were always like, lower your voice, like slow down or stuff like that. But then when you're drinking, like no one says that stuff to you. It's like an excuse to do all those things. Like everybody's like, oh, look at that guy. I'd keep doing that stupid stuff. Like you can be like, it's just an excuse to be louder, to be funny, to be all these things that like in a normal setting, like I was always told, like, like relax a little bit, like slow down.
Yeah.
So like for me, it was a little bit of an escape. And honestly, like as it progressed, like further down the line, like, man, I couldn't be without it. Like I couldn't pinpoint why, but I knew that I just didn't want to be sober. Whatever it was, like I was the kind of guy that like I was a binge drinker. So like I couldn't even cut the grass without having like slamming 3 beers before I did it, like just because I wanted to have a buzz because it would be more fun. It was like a boredom thing, I thought. So I thought at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was just because I was bored.
Yeah. Which is with all the other stuff you listed off there too. It's like, oh man, like playing sports, working, girlfriend, school, it's like, how much time do you have in there to be bored? It's interesting though, you bring up ADHD. I mean, that's definitely my language. What was that journey like for you? When did you uncover that, or like, did you get any support for that throughout your life?
Yeah, man, it was just super tough. I think I was diagnosed around 9 or 10 with like a pediatrician or something like that. And, they put me on medication and stuff. And like for the first little while, it didn't bother me, but like, probably for maybe like 5 years, man, like I struggled hard with like not like fighting the fact that I was on medication, and like I did not want to be on meds. I would try and get off them all the time. And it was to do with the fact that I just wanted to, I didn't understand why I had to take a pill every day to function. Like I just wanted to wake up and be myself and like be like everybody else. So I struggled with it for a long time. And like another thing I didn't realize is probably you're not supposed to drink on those medications, I don't think. So like it probably increased it probably affected the way I was drinking as well. But like what I'm getting at is like now, like I've accepted it. Like I realize that the medication helps me, and like I've tried to go off it many times and it never goes well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a struggle with accepting it, but like I've kind of learned to embrace it now. Like there's like tons of people in the world that struggle with it. So like I'm not alone for sure. And like to just talk to another person about it, like makes you feel so much better. Someone that can relate, you know?
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm in the same boat with you, man. I mean, I didn't plug into anything for a decade and tried everything else, holistic. And there's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with getting support through medication and other things too. It was so interesting when I look back at my life. I was about 17 in high school, and I was on medication ever since I could remember for ADHD, Adderall, Ritalin. I mean, we tried it all, everything, right? I grew up in doctor's offices of trying to figure out how do I just kind of get by, right, for the school system and the behaviors and everything, right? Because I was just so far out of control. And when I was 17, I had missed a dose of the medication. My parents used to watch me and like make sure I took it. I remember in the early days, I'd go up to the office. I don't know if they had the extended release then. So you'd go like you take it in the morning, go at lunch, and blah, 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 it's life. But when you're younger, you don't know any different. So it's like, my parents said, and the doctor said, I didn't really push it too far. But long story short, I missed this one dose and I felt like all of a sudden I came alive, man. It was the wildest thing. And ever since then, I just pretended I was taking it, the tail end of high school. And man, let me tell you, dude, my life got out of control so fast. And I had no idea why, though. I had no idea at the time. I look back now, it's clear as day. And I think for what happened is when I started drinking and using drugs after that, it was a big self-medication thing because the chatter,
100%.
One of the ADHD things that affected me was like confidence and self-esteem. I didn't do well in school, and it was like everybody really valued excellence in the classroom, and I could care less, and I never went. And I feel like my impulse control as well was really impacted. And even later into my adult life, like making impulsive decisions, not around substances, but around other things that I should have slowed down and kind of looked at pros and cons. So yeah, very relatable in a sense too, where there was this study I looked at a little while ago about sort of the increased probability of somebody with ADHD struggling, with drinking or with substance use. And I mean, the stats, I don't know exactly what it was, but it was massive. Like I want to say 50%.
Oh yeah. I've seen all the numbers, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. So you have that going on too, without even kind of realizing it.
I could relate to everything you just said, man. Like with the whole school thing, like I had trouble with communication and like being misunderstood a lot. And like I always knew like I had the answer in my head, but when I tried to write it down or tried to tell somebody it like came out wrong. And then they look at me like I'm crazy, or you know what I mean? Like I'd have to re-explain myself 100 times and to finally get to the point. And it's like, yeah, that's what I was like trying to say the first time. Like, so like long story short, they gave me an IEP and all this stuff. And like, I hated it. Like I like going to resource all the time. Like usually it was all the troubled kids that were getting brought down to resource to like get help with learning and stuff. And then I'd get the note on my desk as well. And I'm the guy that's like on the sports teams and all this stuff. And it's like, or I get called out in the middle of class to go to meet with the resource teacher, or, like I always looked at it as a bad thing. But, like now that I look back, it's like, if someone was in my shoes, I would tell them to take the help. Like you know what I mean? Like I was so against it for so long, but like now I realize that it was only there to help me. So, but that's kind of where, like I struggled though, was with that communication thing. And I still struggle with it today. Like I'm still, like I just kind of uncovered something with my sponsor the other day. And, we're really looking into like going back to when I was younger and being misunderstood and how that still affects me today, and why I'm maybe afraid of confrontation or afraid of this and that. And, it's still a process. Like I'm still learning every day. I talk to my sponsor every day. I can relate to everything that you just said though. Like,
yeah, which, it's such a tough journey, man. It's such a tough journey to sort of have those struggles. And it's also like you're struggling with something that's not visible to even us or to the rest of the world. And I think that's what you mentioned there. I remember I was on probation when I was 16, in part of my probation order, but the probation officer used to show up outside my classroom in high school, make sure I was in there, sidearm, jacket, everything. It was so embarrassing. And I put myself in that situation, so I'm not going to cast blame on anybody. She
Yeah,
was
for
doing her
sure.
job. But part of it was to go to class. And I couldn't understand. I would still not go to class, facing going to jail. And I was just like, I don't really know what is going on here. You're so like
Yeah.
in this confused place and everything. And it's just like, man, and then you feel bad, right? Because it's like, okay,
Mhm.
there's going to be consequences, there's going to be problems. She really held me accountable to these rules I had to follow. And I was just like, man, I don't know why I can't just follow through with the simplest things in the world. And I mean, when I introduced alcohol into my life, it was kind of like another realm opened up, another
Yeah.
world. It was just like, okay, all of the chatter can quiet down. I can be accepted by people around me for
Yep.
doing, sort of reckless things. But I was like, hey, if this is what it takes, like I'm all in. I love this feeling of
100%.
fitting in. I love this feeling of being part of a community. I love how easy it is to get in to be a part of it because I wasn't
Yeah.
a sports guy. I wasn't into the academics. I didn't really have any hobbies or stuff. So like this whole partying stuff, I was like, this is my lane. I can really make a home here and make a name for myself. And it sounds like in one way or another it's relatable to you, but your
Yeah,
journey.
for sure, man. Like, I was kind of like, it's kind of different, but like I was kind of the same way. Like I kind of, but also being like the sports guy, like I could fit in with the sports guys, but I could also fit in with the guys that were getting 98s in class. But then I also fit in really well at the smoke pit. I fit in kind of wherever I needed to be at the moment,
Yeah.
and
Made it work.
yeah, I did what I had to do to be accepted, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. How do things
Yeah,
look like for you kind of moving forward?
so like I'll mention probably around like after I got sober, like it wasn't easy. Like I had to go to detox and rehab and all this stuff.
Yeah. What was that like? Well, I mean, did you have any consequences too before you kind of
Oh yeah,
jumped to
oh yeah.
sober? What was that like? I mean, anybody around you notice stuff? Like share some of that with us.
So like obviously like my girlfriend, she's my person. Like we're going on 7 years. She's been stuck by my side through everything. A lot of times it took me to almost lose everything to like get to the very, very last straw to kind of surrender.
Mm.
Like everything that my parents said was going to start happening started happening.
They noticed it. They noticed things.
Oh yeah, they
Yeah.
noticed.
What'd they say? What'd they say to you?
Well, like at first it was like just like they noticed that I was drinking every weekend kind of thing, and that I couldn't wait to go on the weekend, and was asking for like like excessive amounts of booze and stuff, and like so I'm sure I raised a lot of red flags, sorry, but like when it really started to kind of like hit, like it was when I would like I started helping myself to people's liquor cabinets and like family members and stuff like that. But like just when I started getting caught doing those things, and like I lost my license. I got a DUI, and that made things very difficult. I went from having like complete freedom, going to hockey practice on my own, going to work on my own, going wherever I needed to go, like, and then all of a sudden, within a snap of the fingers, it's like someone else has to be free and available, and you have to have a backup plan if you want to do anything. Like, so like, yeah, losing my license kind of changed a lot for me, but it didn't stop me from drinking. I kept drinking. And it was we were right in the middle of COVID, right? So I don't want to put any like excuses, but like we were kind of like, there wasn't much to do really. So it was like, just because the gatherings and like couldn't go see our friends anymore and party and do all this stuff, I still wanted to drink, like, and I would just keep drinking. And then I honestly, like, I don't know, like part of me subconsciously liked it more by myself because I didn't have to share the booze. I didn't have to worry about what people thought about how drunk I was, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And like eventually I just started like blacking out like every night, and I couldn't go to sleep without it. Like I like started to rely on it. Like I couldn't go to a friend's house and have fun without, like drinking or doing drugs, or I couldn't I couldn't do things I couldn't do things sober and have fun. I couldn't envision a life sober that was like possible,
Yeah.
you know? Like, I don't really know when like what point exactly it flipped. Like it was always just like, oh, I love to party and I couldn't wait to like hang out with my friends and do all the social stuff and drink and, like, and then eventually it kind of just, I just couldn't be without it. Like it happened kind of very quick. Like I've never even had a legal drink before.
Yeah.
I quit when I was 17. So
Yeah. So this is like 14, 15 to 17. And I mean, a couple years.
yeah, it really progressed very quickly.
Yeah. Things pick up for you. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll talk a little bit about detox and stuff.
Yeah.
When I finally went, it was like I got my DUI on August 28th, 2022. And I went to detox, I think October 15th. It's like a month in there, a month and a bit.
Yeah.
And I kept drinking. And it was not good. It was like I was ruining family events, like because I would show up sober and then help myself to liquor or something and get drunk. And, everybody would know and I would, like, it would just be it'd be a shit show,
Yeah.
Like it got to the point where my parents couldn't even leave the house. We didn't even have booze in the house, but they still couldn't even leave because they knew that like I'd get my hands on it if I wanted it. They had to babysit me when I was 17 years old pretty much for a little while there and for that month, like,
Yeah.
and then the last straw was like, my last drunk was like, it was like my cousin's birthday or something and we were all at a family gathering and long story short, I got drunk and I went home and when I woke up in the morning, like my mom was like, you need to call your aunt and apologize. And when I was like thinking to myself, like, apologize for what? Like, I didn't even know. And going back to my DUI, man, like I don't even, there was like 30 minutes of driving that I did there. And I blew 3 times the legal limit and I don't remember a single second of it. Like, I don't remember getting in the car. I remember briefly like pulling my arms apart and realizing that the handcuffs were real and like that it wasn't a dream. That's all I remember from that night, really. So like when people ask me, like, it took you a half hour to go 2 minutes down the road, like, where'd you go? It's like, man, I don't even know. I couldn't tell you. And there was like scratches on top of my Jeep and like all over it. It almost looked like I rolled the Jeep and then kept driving. And, like I just pulled into a gas station or a truck stop gas station to get gas, which I didn't even need gas, and like fell out of my Jeep and all this stuff. Like it was completely embarrassing. Like, but I'm like, today I'm really thankful that it happened because it gave me, like, I don't think if that didn't happen, I feel like I might still be doing the things I was doing or,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, like I connect with my higher power, and I think something was definitely looking out for me that night.
Yeah.
And but what I was saying before, like when I went to detox and everything, like I woke up and I was like, she's like, you gotta apologize to your aunt, and I'm like, for what?
Yeah.
And then my other aunt came over, and she was like, she's probably one of my biggest supporters, and she's like, they kind of mentioned detox, and like I was sick and tired of sorry to swear. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, man. Like, yeah. I was sick and tired of waking up and wondering where I hid the bottle or like who I had to apologize to and for what. What did I do this time? And my girlfriend was eventually like finally going to leave, like for real this time. Like she always threatened it, but like I always sweet talk my way back into keeping her around, and I'd always get better for a little bit. And then I'd get all my dominoes lined up, and then I'd kick them over right when things were going well.
Yeah.
And it's like my girlfriend was threatening to leave, and I lost my license, and I was burning all my bridges, and my parents didn't trust me. And like it was just, I had to look around, and I just woke up and I was like, okay, let's go. So I just started packing some stuff, and I just accepted it, and we went. And I was crying. My mom was crying, and like. But I went, signed myself into the detox, and I stayed for 5 days. I wanted to stay longer. Like, I didn't want to be there to begin with. And then by the 5 days when it was done, like, I didn't want to leave.
Where was that in London?
In Chatham. They have a really good program here in Chatham.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yeah, it's actually just opened up recently, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, but
Okay.
I've heard like nothing but good things, and I had a great experience there. Like they really introduced me to the program, all this stuff, and
Yeah.
for a bit I was fighting it. Like I thought, okay, I'm just gonna go to detox. I don't need to go to rehab. I don't like I'm fixed. Like I'll be fine.
Yeah.
And like I was sitting there the one night looking out the window and like thinking to myself, like I shouldn't be here. Like, what am I doing here? And then like all those thoughts in your head are like, you know, maybe you're not, like you're just drinking wrong, or you're like, no. Like, and then the light bulb went off. It was like, okay, you don't end up in a detox at 17 for no reason.
Yeah.
Then I really looked back at all the things I was doing, like daily drinking, all the stuff. Like it was time for a change. And like at that moment, I just accepted it. Like I had like a spiritual awakening or something. Like I just accepted it. Like I signed myself up for the rehab, and I went like a month later. I don't remember the exact date that I went, but I got it on like Christmas Eve or something like that. But when I was in the detox center, like I learned a lot. I don't know if I mentioned it on this episode, but we would go for a smoke break or like to vape or something, and like I would be walking into the spot and I'd see my buddies like across the road walking for lunch, and I'd have to like turn around, put my hood on, like
Yeah.
it was like what everybody else was doing at my age was not what I was doing, and I had a hard time with that. But you know, like the way I was going, it was not going to lead anywhere good. Like it would be jails, institutions, death. That's where I was headed. And like I was heading there really quickly, man. Like I was having liver problems. The doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with me because I wasn't being honest about how much I was drinking. And I'm sure they knew, right? Like they know, but like I was getting all these ultrasounds and all this stuff because I was in so much pain, but like it couldn't do anything because I just kept drinking. So
Where
yeah,
did you go to the rehab at?
I went to a place called Westover Treatment Center in Thamesville.
Okay.
It was an awesome place. It was a 19-day program. Met a lot of great people. Unfortunately, some of them passed away now that I went there with. Some of them relapse. You know, I'm only in contact with one of them, and he's doing really well. He just hit his 3 years. So
nice. What's it like? I mean, we chatted sort of off air a little bit too about 17 and kind of getting into, you know, all of this, right?
No, it's definitely not easy, man. Because like I said earlier, like you don't see when I go into the AA rooms or to the rehabs or stuff like that. You don't see other, like the closest people in age that you see are maybe like 25, like 26. A lot of the people that I connect with and relate to are like in their 30s, like 40s. They have kids. They're married. You know, like my sponsor's 30s. I think he's 38. It's definitely hard because like, and then when you do meet that one other young person, it's like please stay, man. Like,
yeah. But they don't. A lot of people don't at that age.
No, they don't. They come and go. I've seen a lot of people come and go. A lot of people don't make it back for like.
Yeah. Well, even when you went to rehab too. I mean, you know, I used to work in a rehab in Elora. And what you said there is, I mean, it's a tragedy, man, but there's a lot of people that I worked with, teenagers. I used to work with 14 to 19-year-olds, you know, for years, and they stayed there for 6 months. And and a lot of funerals, man. What was it for you, man? I mean, if you kind of dig in a little bit here, like how were you able to take this seriously, to see how this was going to play out? Because it's really easy, I think, when you're 16, 17, 18, even 20 to say, I'll just grow out of this. Of course, you know, I'm going to start to take life seriously, more serious down the road. This is just a party. This is just a phase. Like I'll get over it. I mean, what really helped you in these moments to like take this serious, to understand kind of the old motivational thing? If nothing changes, right?
Kind of like just I looked back and just like the repetitiveness of like what was happening, the patterns. Like it was happening over and over again. It was literally the definition of insanity, like doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. That was me, man. And like the one, like when you say what made me take it seriously, like what comes to mind is this one thing that I always thought was like, okay, if this is how I'm gonna like handle life right now when I'm 17 and 16, like what am I gonna do when I'm married and I have kids and the real stressors start hitting, like the real life problems, right? Like the stuff that I'm experiencing now at 20. Like if I was still drinking right now, man, and all this stuff that's going on in my life right now, like it would not be good. And I just kind of realized, like, if that's how I'm gonna deal with my problems now, like, what am I gonna do when I'm older? Like, it's gonna be a divorce. It's gonna be me going to jail. It's gonna be losing my kids. It's gonna be losing the car. And like going to AA and stuff, you see all that stuff. You see the people that are coming in talking about they just lost their house or their wife's leaving them or this and that, and you can relate to everything they're saying. Like all the things that they're doing, you can relate. It's like, man, I do not want to. Like I came here early, and people always like I gave this a shot really early, and people always like praise me for that. Like, oh, I wish I came in when I was your age, and all this stuff. Like I take that, I don't take that for granted. Like, but at the same time, it's somewhat difficult because like a lot of these people have the things already, or they've lost the thing. They've had them and then they lost them, like the house, the cars, the wife, the kids, or you know what I mean. I'm still planning for all this. Like I don't have to do this yet, so it's like part of me is like, okay, if I can just stay sober and I can, not do all that reckless stuff, like, because I know, like, I'm even now 3 years later, like today is 1,070 days since I drank. And even today, like, if I have a drink, like, it's just gonna open that can right back up. Like, I don't want just one, even now. Like, I don't want a social drink. Like, it's never been an option in my mind. I would drink to get drunk, to have fun,
It is, relatable. And too, I mean, a lot of people in, fellowship meetings talk about the yets, right? Like you haven't been through it. I mean, we lose ourselves through like this whole process of drinking or numbing with substances, which is like all the material things, like those will be gone, but like losing ourselves, man, and belief in ourselves and trust in ourselves and everything is like, man, that's really hard to work on. I'm really curious too, if you're open to sharing about it, what role your parents sort of played in supporting you? Because I know that there's a lot of people who listen to the show that are like, hey, maybe they're your age, maybe they're a little bit older, but they're like, hey, how do I help them out? Like, was there anything they did that you're like, man, was so helpful?
like just the encouragement. It was difficult. Like it wasn't easy right away, but like I had to set boundaries and all that kind of stuff. But like if you're serious about your recovery, like you can seriously set those boundaries. And like they were very supportive of me going to meetings. Like I didn't have my license, so they'd always drive me there, or they would help me find a ride, or they were, I don't know, they just were. I'm very lucky in that sense. I had a super supportive family, like my parents, my sister, my girlfriend, my aunt. I had a lot of very supportive people in my corner, so I think that played a big role in me getting sober. And I know like it's unfortunate not everybody has that, and like I pray for those people that don't have that support, because it must be a lot harder on your own, I can imagine. But like the rooms of AA, you're never alone, man. Like you can get a sponsor, and I know it's not easy to get a sponsor. I didn't get a sponsor till 8 or 9 months in. But get a home group, get a sponsor, just get a couple phone numbers and text them and call them and just stay connected. Because for me, like the opposite of addiction, I learned was connection. And I've learned that time and time again. Like it just keeps proving my point. When I'm not connected, I start to go back to my old thinking. Like the old things start to creep back in. And like, I'll share a little bit about my experience of cross addiction. And like around my 2-year sober mark, I got that new job in London, the union, and I was apprenticing up in London. And so I had to move from Chatham to London, paying rent with my cousin. And I was living on my own, and like I started making excuses, like I started not going to meetings as much or at all, because I didn't like the ones that we had in London, or just making excuses. I wasn't talking to my sponsor much. And like the one night I was at my buddy's house after work, and they were doing like online slots, and I always knew that I had never gambled. Like I was old enough to gamble, but I didn't buy a scratch ticket on my birthday. I didn't do all that stuff. I never went to the casino because I knew that like if I won, I was going to love it. And like, I don't know, once I was disconnected and like not going to meetings and everything, like it just crept into my head and I didn't even think about it. I just did it. We just did it once. Like, it was, oh, it's just so innocent, $20, like,
Yeah.
and right away, like, turned that $20 into like $100. And like, at the time, like I said, I was just moving out of my house and living on my own. So like, 20 to $100 is a big deal. Like,
Yeah.
it was a little bit more financial freedom. I could get full tank of gas. So like, now that I look back again, you're so blind in the moment, but when you look back at it, you're like, okay, the addict tendencies were there right away. I was saying one more, and my friends were like looking at each other, like they're just stopping, like, and then like very quickly it started, like it was all I thought about. It was the first thing I did in the morning. I was spending all my money on it, blowing all my paychecks, borrowing money, trying to get money on. Like I dug a very deep hole for myself in the span of like 8 months. Like I only gambled for less than a year, and I don't want to say numbers, but I blew a lot of money. And like I wagered in the millions. Like I was on like every site I could get on, like, and I was in like using my overdraft, using my credit cards to gamble. Like I racked up a lot of debt. Like, and it was at first it was just like I viewed it as like an easy way to make money, right? Because I was like just joining the union. I was kind of off a little bit, on laid off here and there. Like when you're just starting out, things are slow. And so honestly, like at the beginning, it was just boredom and like a source of money, honestly, because I got a couple big hits at the start. Like,
Yeah.
it's weird how that works. The first time you go to like every gambling addict that I've talked to, when the first time they go to the casino or the first time they play, they win.
Yeah.
And it's weird how that works. But like the first time I went into the casino with my buddy, like I just brought in 20 or 40 bucks or something, and that was all I planned on spending. And I didn't really have much of a problem yet. I didn't think.
Yeah.
Like I was doing a little bit of the online stuff, but like I wasn't doing it every day. And like, long story short, like I hit the wrong button. Like we walked up to this machine and I put my 20 in, and I meant to hit the lowest bet that you could place, and I hit like the third button or something, and it was like $3.25 a bet or a spin, and it triggered right away.
Yeah.
And I got the bonus, and I was like, what just happened? And I won like $400 or $500.
Yeah.
And it was like sweet. And like we left, or I don't know if I left with the money or not. I can't really remember, but I think I might have spent some of it. But
Oh yeah.
I left up, and then like from that point on, like I don't know, like I was just obsessed. Like I wasn't going every day yet, but very quickly it turned to a like everyday thing. Like doing it at any time I could. I couldn't go 2 hours without placing a bet, man. And if I did go 2 hours without placing a bet, it was the most miserable 2 hours of my life. And it was all I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Near the end, like it was very unfair to my parents and my girlfriend and everybody around me. I have this really tight knit support system, and like it was hard because like they were getting their last straws, man. Like
Yeah. They knew what you were going through?
yeah, it was pretty, like I hit it for a while, but once I started like not having money for rent and not being able to pay my insurance and eating gas money and this and that, like they kind of started to put two and two together. Like I stopped going to the fucking casino, like, but they didn't know I was doing it on my phone, playing every day. Like they didn't know about all those times where I'd put in $100 and I'd win 4,000 and 5,000, and then that would make me financially free for like 2-3 days, and then I would slowly, like over time, be putting it back in and back in and back in, and by the next thing you know, I had nothing left, and I'm back in the negatives. I'm back using my credit card and all this stuff. Yeah, like I racked up a lot of debt, and I hid it for a while, but once it was known, it was I want to say I didn't fight it for too long, like I did, and it it was a much more of a struggle than it was for like when I realized I had a problem with alcohol, and then when I stopped. Like I realized I had the gambling problem, and then I kept gambling for like a while. Like I knew that I needed to stop gambling, but I couldn't stop, and I didn't know why. And I just needed to do it. Like it was a compulsion.
Yeah.
And like that's why I needed to go to rehab. Like I fought it for a while, but like I tried therapy and all this stuff, but it didn't help because I wasn't being honest. I wasn't, like I needed the inpatient like treatment because like everybody around you is like minded. They're all trying to do the same thing. You have support all around you, the counselors, and you physically cannot gamble while you're there. Like you don't have a phone, you don't have.
Yeah.
And they'll help you with the self-exclusion and all that stuff. So like I did all of that stuff. And like when I went in there, man, like I wasn't planning on stopping. Like I gambled at 11 a.m. the day I went into rehab, and I went in at 1 p.m. So 2
they
hours
have
before.
a rehab for gambling.
Yeah, up in Windsor they do. They have
Really?
that Hotel de Grace. It's a gambling disorder and digital dependency.
Oh.
It's a 19-day program. It was very, very good.
Yeah. And I kind of gave you like a break from it at least, and maybe.
Yeah. Like even with the detox, man, like I couldn't stop drinking. I felt like because I was doing it every day, and it was like a routine. Like I needed it. Like I thought I needed it. And same with gambling. Like I was doing it every day. Like, and when I went to detox, it gave me those 5 days without it. And like I started to realize that it's possible to laugh and smile and do all this stuff without alcohol. Or like when I went to the rehab in Windsor, like I said, I gambled at 11 a.m. and I went in at 1. And like for the first probably 2 or 3 days, man, like I had told everybody that I had self-excluded from it, like banned myself from all the casinos. But there was one that I didn't, like I left out, like, because I knew that like I wagered so much and I was going to get this much money back and whatever. Like there's going to be money in my account and I'd be able to play when I got out. And for the first 3 days, that was my thought process. And very, very, very quickly it changed. And like, just like that, like the light bulb went off and it was like, okay, I'm done, man. Like, I can't do this anymore. Like instantly, like when I got out, like I got a sponsor when I was in there. They run like meetings every week, like where people from the outside, like that have been through the program will come in and that's where I met my sponsor. And like I actually asked them to be my sponsor on the day I got out. I went to a meeting the next day and I asked them to be my sponsor. And we met for coffee the next day, and like I was just bare knuckling it for the first 2 days I was out. Like I had that casino open and not open, but it was there. And I was just avoiding logging in because I knew if I logged in, I would see the balance and I would want to play. So I was just avoiding logging in.
Yeah.
And then when I met with him, like we talked, and within the first 5 or 10 minutes, he asked me like, so do you still have any casinos on your phone? And man, not a single part of me wanted to tell him yes, but it just slipped out of my mouth. I just did it. I told him yes. And we went on that casino like right there and then, and it was hard for him too, because like he was only a year sober and he'd never like I don't think he'd been on a casino app since he stopped. So like it was like we had to do it together. Like we sat there and we logged in, we hit ban, and closed it, and that was it. And like, since then I've accepted it, and it's been a journey, but it's my life's better than it ever has been. Like I've got like connections and like I'm getting closer with God and all this stuff. Like all my relationships are starting to repair, and like it doesn't happen overnight. Like as an alcoholic or an addict, like we want things to happen like this.
Yeah.
Well, when we want good feelings, we want it now. Like So after I did all this damage, I was like, okay, how can I fix this? But I want it fixed now. But that's not in the reality of it. Like, that's not how it goes, right? Like recovery is a journey. It's an everyday battle. It's just because I'm not craving a drink every day. Like I'm still struggling, and I need that support from this podcast. This is helping me tremendously. Sharing my story, like I need this kind of stuff. I need to go to AA, and I need to connect with other alcoholics and like-minded people. And, like all that stuff's very important for me.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for sharing all of that too, man. It seems like, I mean, different things, but it seems like a lot of the same behaviors at the root of
Yeah,
it, right?
man, everything that I did while I was drinking, all the negative things, like came right back when I started gambling,
Yeah.
and they will come right back if you don't deal with them in another way. Like you have to deal with. I've been taught that, and I'm still working on it. Still, like I'm definitely very far from figuring it out, but
Yeah.
they say you have to deal with what's underneath. When I went to rehab in Windsor, they did this little theory. It was like an iceberg, and like
Yeah.
you write down. Have you seen that theory?
Yeah. Yeah. In different aspects. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's like all this stuff underneath your iceberg that you're hiding or you're running from or whatever, and like you have to deal with that stuff, or it's just gonna come back,
Yeah.
right?
What is it? I mean, what do you put under your iceberg, or what did you put? Or
Oh, it's hard. I don't really remember right now, but it was like a lot of it was like that struggle with being misunderstood. The way, like for gambling, the way I viewed money, man, was always a problem. It was always a means to get more things,
yeah.
and the more expensive the things you had were made you cooler, and that stems back to being in hockey, like just not like the people with the most expensive sticks, they were always like the best players, and like I just had this twisted view on money that like money was love and all this stuff, and like I really had to look at that and realize like how to change that.
Yeah.
And they say like when you're to get sober, like you got to change one thing, and that's everything. Like you gotta
Yeah.
people, places, things. You got to change it all, man.
Yeah.
You can't go to the same places around the same people doing the same things expecting to stay sober. And if you can, all props to you. Like
Yeah.
I've never seen it, so
Yeah. Well, I mean, you lose interest, right? I think
yeah,
as we evolve and grow as people, you kind of outgrow
yeah,
places where you used to, I used to hang out at the bars and stuff, whatever, till 2, 3 in the morning. Like I don't do that anymore. I don't have any interest doing that. It's
yeah, for
extremely
sure.
boring. It's extremely boring to me
100%,
now.
man. Like I can go out like just because I want to be around my girlfriend and she's a university student and like see my friends for a bit, but like
Yeah.
yeah, great. Man, it's not very long. Like crazy hours I'm out, man. Like
Yeah. How's your
yeah.
life changed? I mean, since I mean, at 20 now, there's so much ahead of you, but do you feel like you're getting a good foundation, man, for things?
Yeah, man, for sure. Like I struggle a bit with like I'm still struggling a little bit with like self confidence and if I'm doing the right things or like I listened to a Mel Robbins podcast recently and she said something about like that's not an abnormal feeling. Like apparently like everybody has that feeling at my age right now. Like the generations have changed. Like the times are different. Like to have doubts about your future and like insecurities and all that's normal, I guess. But
Mm.
I struggle with it a lot. Like I struggle with, okay, what job am I gonna have in 5 years? Like I'm back and forth between two jobs right now, like the union and apprenticeship and a different job and like just all these unknowns. Like I have like a huge fear of them and like
Mm.
I struggle with that, but it's much easier than it was when I was drinking and gambling. Like I would not trade a single day now for a day before. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the worst day that I have now is much better than the best day I had before.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is so interesting. I mean, I just turned
Yeah,
38 and I'm like, oh, I wonder what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. But
yeah.
you,
Like
you know, some something
I,
that helped me out so much, man, is and you've kind of brought it up too with faith and stuff like that. It was kind of hammered into my head for the rehab and everything I did. That I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I kind of draw a lot of strength from that because, of course, I want the answers and I want to see the roadmap and I want to have everything figured out and just make it all work perfectly. But I mean, the reality is, like, how much control do we actually have
not
over
much
our
more.
life? I mean, at the end of the day, like, I mean, we can plan everything out and have this vision and set these goals and consciously work towards them. And I think all that stuff's incredible. But I think at the end of the day, it's like, man, where are we going to, be 5 years from now? Like, it's good to have a vision and something to work towards. I feel like it's not a bad thing, but I'm like,
No,
with my life, like, I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow.
yeah, I agree. And it's like being so young, like when I look at that kind of stuff, it's okay, but I get a little reassurance from the fact that like I don't drink and gamble anymore and stuff like that, because like the possibilities are endless. Like
Yep.
the potential is endless if I don't have that crutch. Because I'm not going to say everybody, but like chances are throughout most people's lives, like are gonna encounter something like, and they might reach for a crutch. And I'm so grateful that I've learned everything that I've learned, and that I know all that I know like now,
Yeah.
and that I've seriously like given it a shot, and I've taken it seriously. And because like I said, like the possibilities are endless. Like I used to think like a life without drinking or alcohol or this wouldn't be fun, or like it would be no fun. Like,
Yeah, of course.
because like that's the way it's perceived. Alcohol is everywhere. Like alcohol is, you go to a hockey game, everybody's drinking beer. You go to a concert, everybody's drinking beer. You go everywhere you go, everybody's drinking. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, but now like I look at a life without alcohol and I see so much like good and potential. And sure, I still think about a drink here and there, but
Yeah.
doesn't take very long for me to talk myself out of it. And like I follow the steps I was taught, and I use the tools I was given, and I just try to do the next right thing. I'm for sure not perfect, but
Yeah.
my sponsor would tell you that for sure. But
Yeah. I mean,
like,
who is, man? I mean, come on. Nobody's got, I
yeah.
mean, it's fairly human, I think, to not have all the answers, not have everything figured out. I mean, I'm with
But
you.
yeah, I agree though. I'm like you. I want the answers, and I want to see that roadmap, and I want to know where I'm going and if it's gonna work out, or like.
Yeah.
But
Well, how much
in
fun would
reality,
that be? I
no,
mean,
yeah, exactly.
you know what I mean? Like that, I feel like if we know that, we're taking away the whole adventure. Maybe the whole
For
silver
sure.
lining to it is like, let's see how bumpy this road can get. And like, can we keep going forward, and what's going to kind of be around that corner and that corner.
Yeah.
It would be good to have it all kind of mapped out. But yeah, it's like, I think when you step back and look at it, it's like, oh my goodness, like that wouldn't be, where's the thrill, man?
Yeah, 100%. And also, part of me, like what that passion that I had for drinking and gambling before, like that desire or the will, or whatever you want to call it, like I don't know, it's almost switched to a passion for like recovery. I cherish that, man, because it's definitely special that like now, instead of being like that person that's getting drunk all the time or this or that, I'm wanting to like help other people that are going through what I'm going through. Like when I see a person that shares something similar to what I went through, like not gonna say like it makes me feel good or something, but it almost like that I can help them. That makes me feel good. Like the fact that I can put myself in their shoes. I've been there, and like, not gonna say you can fix other people, but you can share your story and what you did and what you went through, and they can take what they need and leave the rest, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Support other people. And it's a way to connect with others as well. Good way to connect. And you shared that earlier. I mean, that's a world famous line too. The opposite of addiction is connection, and getting connected with other people. When I talk to people, I think what can keep people stuck for time is resistance to connect with other people, resistance
Fear,
to,
right? There's like a fear.
fear to share with the world. What are people going to think of me? What's life going to look like? This is all I've ever known. But there are challenges on this side of things, but I don't think it's ever as scary as we thought it would be. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, everybody's going to think this of me. Like, I think the reality of that is everybody's so busy. I would like to think people are wandering around in their life thinking about me, but they're not. They're not. They don't.
That, man. Like if I would miss a meeting or if I would do this, it's like, shit, all these people are going to be like, oh, he's drinking. No, man. Like they're not sitting there thinking about what Logan's doing. They have their own lives going on. Like,
exactly. And I think the sooner we realize that, it's just like, I mean, none of us make it out alive as far as I know, and we may as well just see what we can make happen to do this. And I think just living a sober life connects us in so many different ways to the world and to ourselves and to other people. The drinking life is one of distraction, one of disconnection, but we believe that it's connecting us because we're going to the parties and we're hanging out, but it's so superficial. It was never really who I was. So yes, I was able to chuckle and have a good time and make people laugh and get invited places, but it was never genuinely who I was.
Yeah,
I was very worried to let anybody see who I actually was. So I think getting an incredible head start on this thing, Logan, is just going to pay dividends, man.
for sure.
As the years go, right? And growing up fast too, man. This stuff, I got into sobriety and recovery, fairly early, and a lot of people kind of talk about the maturity, right, that takes, and that you grow up and you learn that, and you're having these conversations. I mean, how many other 20-year-olds are talking about their feelings and getting support and asking for help? And one of my first mentors was this fella Andy, and he was like 45, and I didn't really hang out with 45-year-olds, in my 20s or early 20s, but hung out with Andy, and he taught me a lot of things and just showed me kind of how to grow up. I didn't get sober when I knew Andy, but I picked up a lot of things from him that otherwise I wouldn't have. I don't think that's sort of like maybe something that everybody's kind of experiencing. So a lot of benefit to it too.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like I can relate to that as well. When I got sober, like first, I remember there's times like for like months and months, like I kind of had to cut everybody out. I didn't really hang around a lot of people, but I hung around like those old timers at the meetings, and like I went for coffee with them, and I spent like all my time around those people, and I learned a lot from those people. And
Yeah.
and like I like what you said about like how many other 20-year-olds are like doing that like in the most humble way possible. Like it feels good to kind of maybe be an example, or at least show others that it's like it's not as scary as you think. Like
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what other people think of me, and I don't really care that much, but if I can help one person, or if one person can, take one thing from what I said and apply it to their life and benefit from it, like that's what I'm going for. Like that makes me happy. So
Yeah. That's the gold, man. Just heading towards wrapping up. Anything you want to share, man, for anybody who might be struggling right now?
I think like honestly, if I were to say one or two things, it'd be it's not as scary as you think it would be. Like you said, being vulnerable and that stuff, like it might seem scary and like it's gonna affect you in a negative way, but really for me it's opened up endless possibilities and endless doors for me into like positive things. I've just grown from it, and like realizing these things and taking the accountability. And one thing that my sponsor's kind of teaching me right now is like you have to like take accountability for your actions. Like if you don't like something, like you can't just complain about it over and over again. You got to change it. And a lot of times you're the only person that can change those things, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're struggling with alcohol or gambling, and you feel like you're in this endless loop of I can't stop and I don't know why, you're not alone. Just reach out and take that first step. I know the phone probably feels super heavy, and like it always does when you're struggling, but pick up that phone and just dial it and just push through, and you will not regret it, because the help is there if you need it. And like I've seen so many people turn their lives around, but I've also seen a lot of people not make it. I've had a lot of people that I was close with like commit suicide, and like they lose their battle to this addiction. And like you want to help them so bad, and but the truth is you can't help somebody unless they want it, right? Yeah. So it all starts from here. You got to want it first, but then like after you accept it and you want it, the help is there, and there's a community of people that will support you. And it is unreal the things that I've discovered through sobriety that I never imagined possible. So
Yeah. Oh, great way to wrap things up. Yeah, man, it's really tough. And I mean, you're, at 20, and you're going to have the rest of your life, man, of sobriety. And it is the tough side of things, man, when you do get plugged in with communities and you hang out to sort of see people come in and go, and, everything, right? It's tough, man. But any other thoughts, man? Or are we good there?
I think, honestly, I just want to thank you for having me on.
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to this for a while, and I do want to mention I just hit my, or I'll be 5 months from gambling coming up, And I know not everybody listening to this is like a Christian or everybody has their own beliefs, but I just want to mention like the things that God can do for you in a very short period of time if you put your faith and trust in him, like, or your higher power, you take accountability for yourself and you do the work, like things will change. Like my life has changed dramatically in the last couple months, and not where I want it to be. Like there's still a lot of changes I would like to see, but
Yeah.
it's definitely possible. And I'm grateful for the rooms and like everybody that's helped me along the way. So
Yeah, awesome, man. Love that. Yeah, I mean, things change, man. Good stuff. Well, keep plugging in, man, and thanks so much for
yeah, thanks for having
reaching
me.
out, and yeah, and thanks for sharing your story with us.
I appreciate it, man.
Well, there it is, another incredible episode here on the podcast. Huge shout out to Logan. Thank you so much for joining and sharing your story with all of us. I'll drop the contact information for Logan down in the show notes below. And big shout out. Logan hasn't had a drop of alcohol since October 15th, 2022, and hasn't placed a bet since May 11th, 2025. Incredible job. Be sure to send Logan over a message. Tell him thank you for jumping on the podcast, sharing his story. Incredible job. Really, really incredible job with sharing everything and how everything unfolded for him. So thank you as always for listening, and I'll see you on the next one.